Welcome to the eOceanic navigation tutorial. The object of this tutorial is to get you up and running with the navigation capabilities of the application. eOceanic is steeped in new interactive features that make boating more pleasurable, safer and shareable with friends and other mariners. But here, where possible, we are setting these all aside so we can get you up and running with navigation as if it was like any other normal navigation application. So let's get started. There are a couple of initial setup steps when you first install, but after that, you're off and running. And I think you're going to find it very easy. After logging in with your eOceanic credentials, the first port of call should be settings. You already have the tides as part of the original setup, but you need to choose and download the appropriate chart packs for your sailing area. You can download any or all of the listed chart packs, and you can remove them from your storage by simply switching them off again. Then later, you can download them once again. There are no restrictions. We break them up into regions and allow you to remove and re-add chart packs freely so you can efficiently manage your storage. The key thing when it comes to downloading the charts is that they are large and you need to be on a fast network that is not capped or charged by data usage. This can be the case with mobile data contracts, so it's best to do this on your home network. Likewise, you should place your device on charge. Time to download will depend on your network speed, but all you have to do is to move across the slider of the desired chart set. The flashing download indicator will appear and the progress bar will show at the bottom of the screen. Then just leave it take care of itself. If you disconnect or turn off the application in the middle of the download, it will simply reconnect where it left off the next time it is turned on or reconnects. As you can see here, I've already loaded Ireland and the UK South Coast, so I'm going to add Wales. Suffice to say, the flashing sign and the progress bar will both disappear when it is complete. The annual tides are downloaded during the installation. There are two tidal display options, automatic or home haven, and it is set to automatic by default. Automatic is where it displays the nearest tidal station to you at all times, which is the normal setting when you are sailing the vessel. Home haven is used when you live or work in one place and your vessel is moored in another location, in which case you might want to be appraised of the tides at the berth, and this setting enables you to do this. So when roaming, the automatic setting will be the general purpose setting, and we will leave that as it is here. That is the initial setup of the application for navigation purposes. So let's get started. Go to the menu and select Chart, and you will see you're already up and running. The first port of call to change the standard behavior of the charts is in the chart settings. Touch the chart settings icon in the bottom right hand corner and the menu will appear at the bottom. We will now step through the 8 options you have here. The ideal setup to get going is as presented, with the 3 eOceanic additional chart integrations switched off for the moment. We will get to those later, and we will show you how to display and hide them here. The first option is to toggle between charts and maps. We believe leisure sailing is as much about exploring ashore as it is afloat, and we provide you with shore maps to help you find your way ashore too. Moreover, you can use some of eOceanic's advanced features to help meet up with friends when in map view, which we will cover later. Chart detail depends upon the level of the survey, but it can be generally taken that the land maps usually have more detailed large-scale layers than the charts. This means you can zoom in closer on the maps than on the charts. We also allow you to zoom into a higher resolution than a chart supports, or overzoom where they become distorted. This is to better enable you to pick out some small text that can be difficult to make out at a normal resolution. Once you go beyond the resolution of an available chart and then the overzoom, it automatically drops into the large-scale map layers available beneath. In other cases, you will see it joins the maps and charts to complete a consistent layer at a scale, which is required to create a seamless pinch to zoom. The next toggle allows you to adjust the chart orientation. North up displays the chart so that it's always north up. Course over ground will display the chart relative to the current detected motion and its bearing made good over the ground. The next toggle enables you to visually see the current course made good. It is a temporary track displayed on the chart to help you monitor progress in real time whilst underway. This track is deleted when the application is next closed. So if a permanent record is also required, the log, which is covered separately, should be activated. The Object Notification toggle is a unique eOceanic feature. This activates or deactivates the issuing of audible notifications when approaching any of eOceanic's listed objects. These range from outlined water-based features such as rocks, breakers, buoys, pierheads, and many more objects, where there is the potential for both soft or hard contact. Object notifications are covered elsewhere, but when turned off, the notifications largely cease. The exception is this list of typically hidden objects which continue to issue notifications even when turned off. This is for safety reasons. Should the notifications be turned off in error, and being rarely encountered, they scarcely intrude on normal boating operations. The Haven toggle displays or hides the listed eOceanic havens on the chart and their associated initial fixes. This is again a unique eOceanic feature integration that is covered elsewhere. When active, the haven pins simply appear on the chart. Touch any of the pins and a menu presents, where it is possible to access the full pilotage information or set a course direct for the haven's listed position. Likewise, the initial fixes set up the optimal or a good approach upon the associated haven. Touching the initial fix provides the option of setting a direct course for its listed position. The Routes toggle displays or hides the listed eOceanic routes on the chart and their associated waypoints. This is again a unique eOceanic feature integration that is covered elsewhere. But suffice to say, when active, the routes and their connected waypoints simply appear on the chart. Touch any of the waypoints and a menu presents where it is possible to access the full pilotage information for the route or set a course direct for any of the listed waypoints. The My Routes toggle displays or hides your personal planned routes on the chart and their associated waypoints. They behave the same as those of eOceanic. The only exception to this is the current route you might be creating. This always shows, even if My Routes is set to hide, and the current planned route remains visible until the application closes. Thereafter, it's only visible when My Routes is set to display your routes. This is exactly the same with any individual waypoints you might be creating or have created in the past. Current waypoints show by default, but past waypoints require the My Routes toggle to be on to display, and when off, they are hidden. The Marker toggle displays or hides all of eOceanic's listed objects on the chart with their associated icon. These include objects on land and sea, with the latter being used for notifications. This is again a unique eOceanic feature integration that is covered elsewhere. But in brief, when active, the icons simply appear on the chart. Touch any of the icons and a menu presents with its description. It is possible to set a course direct for the marker's listed position, or, should it be an outlying rock or hazard, to enable a monitor to be placed on it so its relative position can be monitored. So that's the complete list of options in chart settings. Once set up as preferred, the entire navigation thereafter is driven around just 3 finger touches. 1. A single finger touch to slide the chart around. 2. A 2-finger pinch in or widen out to zoom in and out. 3. Then a lift and replace and a single long touch to activate the navigation toolbar, which provides all the navigation options. Let's create a waypoint first. Once the new waypoint is created, simply long touch it to get the waypoint options. These are to cut and paste the coordinates to the clipboard on the top right, should you want to share it with someone. Then the rest are very much as you would expect: to set a course to it, rename it, reposition it, or delete it. And these behave very much as you would imagine, with the only unusual exception being the reposition capability. So let's explore that option. The key thing to notice is the position for selection is always in the middle of the screen and does not move. Instead, you simply slide and or zoom the chart underneath it until the desired point is in the crosshairs. Then select it. We use this central selection and chart adjustment approach for all plots. It provides for easy and precise touch-based positioning, along with the clearest visibility obtainable for accuracy. Once the new desired point is in the sights, touch the Update Position button and the waypoint moves to the new adjusted position. Then, when you want to delete it, simply long touch the waypoint icon on the chart and select the Delete option. When deleting or shutting down in eOceanic, you always get a checkpoint just in case the action is accidental. So let's do a route next. Once again, simply long touch the chart anywhere to get the toolbox. I will start by sliding the chart to get the crosshairs over the point where I want to place my first waypoint. Perhaps a little bit of a lead in, and then select route. Once route is selected, you get the option to name your route. If you do not want to name it, simply press OK, but I will call this example. Once OK is pressed to the name or no name, the first waypoint is plotted. After that, the process of plotting waypoints continues as desired until the route comes to its endpoint. I should say in passing, this is no way to enter Kilmore Key. I have this route dangerously skirting in a wash rock. We were only playing here. Select the End Route Here button to plot the final waypoint of the chain. After that, it's simply a matter of long touching any of the waypoints in the chain, such as the first in this case, and selecting Set Course for this point. This sets it as the converging point for the route, but you are free to choose any of the waypoints along the route. Once selected by that single touch, the application goes directly into navigation mode, recentering on my current position and setting up a course to the selected waypoint. The current position is always indicated by the small boat icon, either when centered or when you move the chart. As I'm currently getting set up, this has me on land here, and with a scattered tail that indicates my device's GPS chip is fetching about to secure a fix on the roof and behind thick walls. Nevertheless, it has set up a bearing to converge upon the first waypoint which I selected. So to cancel navigation mode, we simply touch the Cancel button in the top right-hand corner. This leaves the information dashboard in place. To clear this, so as to have the full chart view, simply touch the information toggle icon and it clears the information dashboard. Finally, to remove the route, simply long touch any of its waypoint icons. Then select the Delete Route button and it is removed. So the final tool in the toolbox is the ability to measure. So let's have a look at that now, and we will measure the passage between Great Saltee and Little Saltee Islands here. I will again start by sliding the chart to get the crosshairs over the point from which I want to measure from, and then click the Measure button. Then I long touch the chart anywhere to get to the toolbox. After touching the Measure button, point A is set. Then you are free to slide the chart to fetch point B as desired. The data is continuously displayed as you search for point B. You also have at all times the option to copy the data displayed to the clipboard in order to share it. This includes positions of points A, B, the distance apart, the bearing, and the reciprocal bearing that are displayed on the screen. To finish measuring, simply touch Close. The last option to touch upon here is the ability to directly input digital decimal coordinates into a waypoint or route. Although it is possible to slide the chart and fetch about to find the exact coordinates, this can be fiddly. So to accommodate this, we allow you to manually override the displayed decimal degree position. The easiest way to do this is to manually get into the general area of the position, Then simply touch the existing coordinates. These then can be edited. When the edit is complete, touch the Set button and it adjusts to the overtyped coordinates position. So that's it then. There are only 3 final buttons left to explore. The first of these is the information dashboard, which we have already mentioned. Once touched, it recenters the chart on your current position from where it follows your movements whilst displaying the information dashboard. This lists the current speed, course over ground, and position. Touching the icon again hides the information dashboard. If you move the chart manually, the chart will stop following you and become static. To reattach your movement to the chart and recenter it, touch the recenter button immediately below. The recenter button does this in all views. The final button is the live log shortcut icon. This is a uniquely advanced feature of eOceanic. As it is always present on the navigation screen, we will briefly describe its function here. Live log sharing is a capability available where a data connection is present, even on occasions, to share your position in real time over the internet with friends or interested parties. 3 things happen in the background when the live log shortcut icon is touched. Firstly, it initiates a log recording of your passage. Then it creates a unique link for this log that can be shared live on eOceanic.com. This is then copied to your device's clipboard, ready for you to share it. You can then share this link via your preferred text sharing method with the people you wish to follow you. They can then watch your progress in real time when they open the link in any standard browser. It is as simple as that to commence and share a live log. The one thing to remember is that this has initiated a new ship's log to provide the live link, and that log is still running until you stop it. To turn this off, simply go to the menu and touch Stop to end this log recording. So that is it. You are ready to navigate with eOceanic. You do not even have to use the side menu the next time the application launches. There is a one-touch shortcut directly from the home page available by simply touching the navigation panel. Thank you for watching. We hope you find getting up and running with eOceanic easy. Once you get going, make sure to explore eOceanic's more advanced features that we believe will make it a real joy to sail.